Welcome back to The Way with Jazz and Tay. It's your girl Jasmine.
Shantae.
And before the break, we gave our weekly recaps as well as our The Way and Not the Ways with a little bit of help from some friends via Instagram. So shout out to y'all. But now we're going to go ahead and get into our review of the week, which is the Savage X Fenty Fashion Show Volume 3. Okay, I hold up two fingers on this hand. Whoops. But yeah, volume 3. So I watched it last year. I don't even think I watched the first one. And when I think about it, I think the first one was technically live on the runway. That's the one that I remember was actually on like a fashion runway. And then I think they moved to this way because of COVID. Yeah, they would have done like a live fashion show. And I'm not even gonna cap. I think that I like this way of doing the fashion shows much better than just walking on a runway, because the visual element, the different like, you know, levels, the singing, she has musical artists, like just everything. So to give it a brief like rundown, they're in like a parking garage structure. It looks like the ones that kind of spiral, that kind of like circular, and that's essentially the runway. So everybody's pretty much on there, either strutting their stuff, singing and performing, or they're straight up just like dancing all up and down this. And it was just a really awesome time. Tay, do you want to talk about what you liked first? I mean,
Sure.
I'm sure we can both kind of like touch on it, because some of your favorite parts are definitely the parts that stuck out to me as well.
Yeah. I would say like my overall, it's very interesting because I did enjoy the way it was shot and everything. It felt almost like a musical fashion show.
Yes,
You know, or
it was
something
very
you see on Broadway.
theater, Broadway. Yes, especially
Yeah.
how it opened.
Yes, exactly how it
Yep,
opened. I
yep.
loved that they had Jade Nova opening. I really think that they showcased her vocal sound. I know we both follow her on Instagram, and she does these really
Yes,
funny skits.
yes.
But she also does things on her Instagram where she's singing, and I'm just glad that like she got that moment to kind of
Same.
really showcase her vocals, because I didn't know she was that good. I was like, who's the
Well,
opera singer?
so it's actually I'm really glad that you say that, because I highlighted her as well, because yes, we both follow her, and I think I started following her because of her like impressions. She does really
Yes.
good impressions of
Yes.
like Beyonce and stuff like
And
that.
Cardi B.
Yeah, and so I followed her because of that, and then randomly on one of my playlists that I listened to on Tidal, a song came up and it had her name on it, and I liked the song, and I was like, I don't think this is the same person. I don't think this is the same person. I'm scrolling on Instagram one day, and it's literally the same person, and I'm like, okay, dope. So you can actually sing, and I like your music. And again, like you just said, I'm really glad and happy that Rihanna picked her for this to showcase her talent as her. Like
Yeah.
she herself, Jade Nova, is someone who I think we should keep our eyes out for,
Absolutely.
because
Especially after this show.
yeah, she's definitely up and coming, and she really does have vocals. Oh my gosh, she was over there.
Absolutely.
I was like, who is this?
literally, I was like, who's the opera singer? And then they flashed to her, and I was like, no way. Like, I was expecting her to do something like what Normani did, like a song. And I was like, okay,
Ooh.
opening it up strong, sis.
I just got
Um,
hot when you mentioned Normani, because
but
oh my god.
the one thing I did wanted to know, and you know, this is like a me just being like critical of the whole piece. I was like, let me find something that I don't
Of
like, you
course.
know, because everything can't be amazing. I mean, it's an amazing show. Let's just put that out there. But the one thing that always interests me is that like I think I get so caught up in everything else going on, I don't even really realize the lingerie.
Really?
Yeah, like obviously when the models are doing their runway walks,
Mm-hmm.
I notice it then. But when we're flashing and we're giving moods and scenes, I'm like, what am I watching again? Like,
Yeah.
Was Normani's piece even a piece of the lingerie?
Yes, it was. So here's the thing. Everybody was, so like her and Jade, everyone was wearing Fenty. And even when you see Rihanna, even when you see
Or
Rihanna,
like,
she's wearing Savage, but it's custom.
okay, or like
Because
Ricky Martin.
robe. That's why he was swinging his robe around the way that he was, because
Okay,
that was a Fenty robe.
because I
Yes.
was like,
Now
those are
Nas,
leather pants.
now Nas, I don't know that he had any Fenty on that we could see,
And was
because
that Daddy Yankee also?
oh yes, it was Daddy Yankee, girl. Yes, bless you.
Ooh,
Um,
sorry, thank you.
but I'm glad that you said that, because I remember for me at first, when we first were watching it, Mariah, I watched it with Mariah, and she said the same thing. We were like, I wish we could see more. Like, is this the pieces? But here's the thing. I think, one, she does a really good job at like showing that you can move in these items. Like, I think that's part of what she wants to show you, is that like they're durable, you can move in it. Like literally you can pop, lock, and twist and whatever, and you're not gonna have any like, you know, slippage. But she does then also do a really good job at showing all of the pieces. Like, there will be different scenes where like she is stopping and making sure that you're fanning across the entire kind of like collection of what she's showing. And like, there are moments where people are just walking, and like, because I definitely felt that. I was like, this is overwhelming. This is too much.
It's all over the place.
I was like,
like,
but she does have her moments where she's like, this is the collection, these are the pieces. And like, you know, so I think she does a good job at balancing that off. However, I will definitely say within the first, like the opening parts, I was like, okay, is this a fashion show or is this a music video? I was like, what is
or is it like a show? Yeah, like it felt like a concert and they were in the lingerie, and I was like, and I think, yeah, to your point, she does a good job of kind of drawing you in, and I feel like that's a bit of the marketing to it. It's kind of like, oh, you didn't really get to see the pieces, so now you have to go to the website and check them out for yourself and see everything that they had. Because I was like, honestly, like there was some themes that I liked, but I was like, there wasn't anything like last year's show. I was like, I don't know how to say her name. She was dating Miguel.
Oh, Nazina. They were married. But yes. They were
married.
They were married. They got married a couple years ago.
Anyways, the scene with her, it was very floral, and I loved the colors and I loved the lingerie, and I was like, I'm gonna go find that. Of course, by the time I went to go get it, it was sold out, and that's the one caveat to Savage lingerie, is that it sells out instantaneously. But like this time around, there wasn't really a scene where I could be like, oh, I really like that, I'm gonna go check that out later. But I guess that is also like going back to what I was saying previously, is a part of the marketing is to get you to go from the Fenty fashion show to the page and be like, oh, what do they actually have? Because, you know, I liked this color, or this my favorite model was wearing it, you know. So that was like my one critique of it. I was like, what's happening really? But I did like it. I just was like, it just felt more of like a show than it did a fashion show, except for the pieces where obviously the models are walking. I was like, okay, now this is what we came here for. But my favorite part.
Yes, let's talk about it.
My favorite part was the Busta Rhymes section. I didn't realize until this section that I was a big Busta Rhymes fan, and that I grew up.
Girl, right? Oh, this was the part. Oh, stop. Pass the Cavassier. Pass the Cavassier.
Yes.
Okay.
Whoa.
That was the part. That was the part too, Shantae girl. Jeremy Pope. We've both. Stop.
Who is this guy, and where did he come from?
Okay, so Latia, when we were watching it on Monday, and me and Mariah were both just kind of like obsessing over this dude. Latia was the one that told us where we know him from. That show on Netflix, Hollywood. He was one of the like writers or directors, one of the gay. Yes. Girl, yes.
He was fun in that too.
Yes, as soon as she said that, it immediately clicked, and I was like, oh my God, that's exactly it. So Hollywood, and then we just recently geeked out about him at the gala. Met. Yes.
That's where I was like remembering him from. I was like, Jeremy Pope's in the Fenty show too. Okay.
And then I didn't even see the Fenty show. I saw some random, like maybe 5 or 6 second clip of him doing his little like dance and then that like tongue lick thing.
And I was like, Lord heavens.
Oh my God.
Lord heavens. I was like,
oh my God.
It's a tragedy that man doesn't swing my way, but I'm still into him. I don't care.
100%. This was the only time that I ever was like, damn, I wish I was born a male.
You can like men, but I like you, Jeremy, okay? Period.
He is my new man crush forever.
Like, period. I was he is giving everything.
And Untouchable man crushes, him and Coleman Domingo.
Yes.
Both of those.
Let's also let's just add about that whole Busta Rhymes section. That was like mainly male focused. Like it was mostly the men, and I was like drooling. I was like, every single man there looked fine. Like everybody shaped.
I'm actually very hot right now.
Every like hairstyle. I mean, there was even a gay guy that was presenting more feminine, you know, and he was kind of doing the Vogue. And I was like, he looked a little bit like Ty Dolla $ign, and I was like, even he looks good. Like everybody looks good.
I saw him too, and I literally said that too. I was like, is that Ty Daddy sign? There was this one dude, this one model that she kept showcasing, the white guy that had like the little blonde tuft or whatever.
Yes.
I don't know who he is, but I did catch a few glimpses of his print in his little boxers, and I was like, oh, Riri, this is why you put him in here, because he looks like he might be packing, and it is gray sweatpants season, just saying.
Yeah, like that whole section, like I might go and rewatch it just for that section alone. Like I was like, whoa.
I want to learn
what I came here for.
It was just the way that he was looking at the camera, the tongue, the way he like threw back the little robe. I was just like, okay.
There was like a stockier guy that was wearing like a tank top. I was like, in a do-rag. I was like, you look good. The guy next to you that was real tough, I was like, you look fine and you're short and I don't care. Like,
I can send you that guy's Instagram because I followed him on IG from last year's fashion show. I was like, oh, you're big and you're thick? Right up my alley.
Teddy bear.
Literally, let's go.
So thank you, Rihanna.
Really, girl. And here's the thing,
I was really thirsty and you just quenched it for me, girl, okay?
Because like, we're not even talking about the fact that Rihanna also had a moment. She also had a moment where she just came out and was dancing and sexy. And I remember live, when I first watched it, I was slayed. I was like, no, she's not. I was like, no, she's not. Completely forgot about it up until now.
She came out to that song with Janet Jackson and Busta Rhymes, and it's a very like sensual song too.
What's it gonna be, right?
Yes, and I was like, okay, we just got real sexy. Like that whole scene. Erykah Badu walked out during the Busta Rhymes section. Like I was just like, that section for me was the show. Like I definitely liked everything else, but I was just watching it like, yeah, this is the Fenty fashion show. And then that section came through and it was long and I was like, I'm here for all of it. I'm hot. I'm bothered. One other model and section I wanted to talk about though, Simone, I guess a season winner of RuPaul's Drag Race was in it. Drag queen.
Okay. Hey.
And the walk was fierce. The walk rivaled Naomi Campbell. Like I'm watching and I'm like, you better work. Like you better. Like
Love
I just
it.
And even just like the drag queens in that section, I couldn't find the name of the other model, but ended up doing like a whole house voguing section and then did a death drop, and I was like, yes, Shantae, you stay.
The last person I'm going to touch on before we outro, because we do need to save some time to talk about our hot topics. You pointed out Cindy Crawford, a legend, an icon, but I fangirled over Adriana Lima. Because I remember a few years ago, she retired from being, you know, like a Victoria's Secret angel and all that stuff. And she's been really like low key since then. And when she popped up, I was like, who is this? Who is this? And I saw the eyes and I was like, is that Lima? And Mariah was like, that's exactly who that is. And she looks damn good. She should have never quit being a Victoria's Secret model because hello. Whew. All right, I'm done. We're done. Let's go.
Okay, so now that we fangirled, made ourselves real hot, I'm really hot and my fan is on.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and jump into a really quick 2 to 3 minute break and come back with our hot topic. Stay tuned. You're listening to The Way with Jazz and Tay.
You tired? I hope your body be cooping because we're keeping you moving. That's what we're doing, and you know we're gonna take your body wet.